are growing calls to legalise baby savers. This follows the announcement by the Department of Social Development in Gauteng to declare baby savers to be illegal. The department has ordered their immediate closure. To help us unpack this, I am now joined live by Dr Whitney Rosenberg, who has conducted extensive research and advocated for the legalization and permits for baby savers. Thank you so much for your time, Dr Whitney. We do appreciate it. I'm not sure if you got any sound from that interview with the department, but it does seem as though there is a concern around how many people drop off their babies, or mothers drop off their babies at these boxes or safe boxes, and the department finds this to be completely illegal. But you would say that we should legalize this and allow for these safe houses and these safe boxes to be granted permits.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on your show. I think it's important for us to deal with what the department has just said. They said that they don't know how many of these homes exist and how many baby savers actually exist. Well, this is a strange statement to make, since each of the homes that have baby savers installed are registered and work with registered child protection organizations. That means a registered social worker is assigned to each child that is received through a baby saver. And we have 45 of those around South Africa. Also, another strange part of the department's statement is the fact that we give stats to the Department of Social Development on a monthly basis to their claims department. And in these stats, it's stipulated how many children come through a baby saver. And some of these baby savers have been operating since 1999. So for the department to now come and say that these savers are illegal is a very strange thing. Furthermore, what the department has stipulated is that there's other options for mothers, such as handing your child to a social worker or police station or hospital. From working on the ground, with our members, we know that the hospital is not an option for these women. They try to relinquish their children safely to nurses and hospital staff workers, and they are rejected and turned away. Lots of these mothers then end up abandoning their children unsafely. We also know from experience that going to a police station and trying to relinquish your child is also another option. Bearing in mind that these women are very desperate and they have a fear of prosecution. So they're afraid that the police officer is going to arrest them. So they do not make use of that method either. And then the same goes for social workers. We had a case last year where a mother attempted to hand her child over to a social worker. The social worker turned her away. The very next day, a baby was found abandoned in the parking lot of a KFC. So this is just a few examples. We experience these examples on a daily basis where mothers reach out and say, I'm desperate. Another thing I need to highlight is that a baby saver is regarded as a last resort. We do not encourage mothers to abandon their babies, but we are there as a last resort after pregnancy counseling has either failed or has proven to be unavailable to these women.
And that's my concern here, Dr. Whitney, is that what is the alternative? Because the alternatives that you have mentioned seem to pose a number of issues and problems for the mother. And, you would find that majority of the time, mothers don't want to abandon their babies. They don't see it as abandonment, but rather see it as a better life for the child because they are not in a position to provide that life for them. Have you been in discussions at all as an advocate for this particular matter with the department to try and find an alternative, or as to the reason as to why they don't want to legalize these safe havens?
So we had a discussion with the department 1 week prior to them releasing this directive. And we were told that there is room for us to work together and to partner and collaborate in this area. We were not informed of this directive until being sent it a week after it was signed off. So, and the reasonings presented in this directive is very, I would say, disingenuous by the department. The department has pointed out, for example, the issue of fathers' rights. Well, if we look at the leading causes of abandonment, one of these leading causes is the lack of family support and the fact that the woman has first been abandoned by the husband or partner of this child. the mother abandons after she herself has been abandoned. So I asked the department, where are these fathers that they are alleging that they are protecting their rights? Where are these fathers? My research, if we do assume that the department is genuine about protecting fathers' rights, then research has also been provided by myself based on what other countries have done, such as a putative father registry, which allows fathers who do want to step up, who do want to assume parental responsibilities and rights over their children, to then go forward and do such a thing. There's also, in terms of our current Children's Act, a reunification process. So in terms of existing legislation, the child can still be reunified with his or her family members.
And I think perhaps the narrative needs to change here, Dr. Whitney, that it shouldn't be considered or seen as abandonment, because you might also find that these mothers, I stand to be corrected, but maybe some of them have also been raped or sexually assaulted and have fallen pregnant and have absolutely nothing and nowhere to turn to. I mean, raising a child in that environment cannot be easy. I want to ask you, just in closing, what is the way forward? What kind of discussions need to be had with the department for them to understand the severity of this and how dire the situation actually is? Because these safe havens or safe houses or baby boxes, whatever you want to call them, are obviously trying to make it easier for mothers and just avoid a situation where you have babies that will really be abandoned on the streets or in dustbins that we have previously seen.
Thank you. It's very important that we highlight the purpose behind a baby saver, and that is to protect the child's right to life, Section 11 of the Constitution, the child's right to human dignity in Section 10, and to make the child's best interests of paramount importance according to Section 28(2) of the Constitution. All of these have been confirmed with the UN Convention, which we are a part of. So that's where Baby Savers comes from. Our steps forward now is to take a strong stand and say to the department that we refuse, on the grounds just listed, to shut down our Baby Savers. And we have sought legal advice on this, and that's our standpoint, that's where we're standing, and we are not going to move from that position.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights this evening. We do appreciate it, and hopefully we will be able to get the Director of Gauteng Children Protection Services back on just to get their point of view. That was Dr. Whitney Rosenberg, who has conducted extensive research and advocated for the legislation that permits or allows for baby savers.